There is a sound arriving in your spirit right now that does not belong to this world. It is not carried by the wind. It is not carried by coincidence. It is arriving because the silence that had to exist between us is finally over. You have been walking through a long, long hallway, a hallway with no windows and no doors. You have felt the walls around you, smooth and unbroken, for what has felt like an eternity. You have placed your hands against the cold surface, searching for an exit, searching for a crack, searching for any sign that this passage had an end. And for so long, there was nothing, only the sound of your own footsteps, only the sound of your own breathing, only the weight of your own questions echoing back at you. Do you remember when you first realized you were in this hallway? Do you remember the moment when things began to feel different? When the path you thought you were on began to narrow? When the doors that once stood open began to close, one by one, without explanation? You tried to understand. You tried to make sense of the closing doors. You told yourself it was temporary. You told yourself another door would open. But then the windows began to close too, and then the light began to fade. And soon you found yourself walking in a place where you could no longer see what was ahead, and you could no longer see what was behind. That was not cruelty. That was preparation. You have asked me, in the quiet moments when no one else could hear, why I allowed the walls to go up. You have asked me why I let the path become so narrow. You have asked me why, when you cried out, the only answer was more silence. You have asked me if I was still there. You have asked me if I had turned away. You have asked me if you had done something wrong, something so terrible that I would leave you alone in that hallway with no explanation and no end in sight. I heard every question. I felt every tear. I saw every moment when you stopped walking and just stood there, too tired to go forward, too afraid to go back. I saw you slide down against that cold wall and sit in the dark. I saw you close your eyes and wonder if you would ever open them to anything different. I saw you begin to lose hope. I saw you begin to forget what the light even looked like. And I did not answer. I did not open a door. I did not send a sign. Because if I had spoken too soon, you would not have been able to hear what I am about to tell you now. There are things that have been hidden from you, not because I was punishing you, not because you were unworthy of the truth, but because the truth would have undone you before you were ready to carry it. The truth would have shattered a version of you that was not yet strong enough to be rebuilt. The truth would have been a fire that consumed you entirely, instead of the refining flame it was always meant to be. You have been asking me why. You have been asking me for answers. You have been searching for understanding in every direction, grasping at anything that might explain the last months, the last years, the last season of your life that has felt like one long, unbearable sentence. And I have watched you grasp at things that were never meant to hold you. I have watched you look for answers in places that could only give you more questions. I have watched you try to force doors open that I had already sealed shut, not to trap you, but to protect you from what was on the other side. You do not see it yet. The moment has come. The waiting is ending. Not because you have finally figured it all out. Not because you have finally become perfect. Not because you have finally earned the right to understand, but because you are now strong enough to carry what I am about to place in your hands. You are now ready to see what has been hidden in plain sight. You are now able to hear what the silence was always meant to deliver. This message is not random. This moment is not an accident. The fact that you are reading these words right now, in this exact moment, with this exact weight in your chest, is not something that happened by chance. I have guided you here. I have guided you through every closed door, through every unanswered prayer, through every moment of confusion and despair, to bring you to this exact place, at this exact time, so that you could finally receive what you have been waiting for. You thought the waiting was about the thing you wanted. You thought the waiting was about the door opening, the prayer being answered, the breakthrough finally arriving. You thought the waiting was about the destination, but the waiting was never about the destination. The waiting was about you. The waiting was about making you ready for what was coming. The waiting was about stripping away everything that could not enter what I am about to bring you into. And now, the waiting is over. Do not mistake this for a promise that everything will suddenly become easy. Do not mistake this for a guarantee that the pain will instantly vanish. But understand this, the season you have been in, the long hallway, the closed doors, the unanswered questions, the silence that felt like abandonment, that season is complete. It is finished. It has served its purpose. And you are about to step out of that hallway and into a light that is going to reveal everything you could not see while you were walking in the dark. There is a heaviness in the air right now. You can feel it. It is the weight of the truth that is about to land in your spirit. It is the weight of the things that have been kept from you, now pressing against the door of your understanding. Do not be afraid of this weight. Do not pull back from it. This weight is not here to crush you. This weight is here to anchor you. This weight is here to give you something solid to stand on after so long standing on nothing but questions. I am going to speak to you now in a way I have not spoken before. I am going to show you things you have not seen. I am going to explain things you have not understood. And I'm going to do it not because you have finally figured out how to be worthy, but because I love you. Because I have always loved you. Because even in the silence, even in the dark, even when you could not feel me, I was there. I was preparing you. I was strengthening you. I was making you ready for this exact moment. Breathe. Just breathe. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel the light still moving through you. You are still here. You are still standing. And now, finally, you are going to understand why. The silence is breaking. The truth is coming. And you are ready for it. When I say that the silence is breaking, I need you to understand what that silence actually was. Because for so long, you have interpreted my silence as my absence. You have interpreted the quiet as abandonment. You have looked at the years where nothing seemed to happen, and you have convinced yourself that I was simply not there, that I had left you to navigate the darkness alone, that your prayers were hitting a ceiling and falling back down to earth unheard. But the truth is far stranger and far more intimate than you could have imagined, because the silence was not an empty space where I was doing nothing. The silence was a workshop where I was doing everything. The silence was a furnace where I was burning away the things that could not come with you into what is next. The silence was a womb where the very thing you have been begging for was being formed, not outside of you, but inside of you. And you could not feel it happening, because formation is always hidden, always quiet, always invisible to the one being formed. A child in the womb does not know it is growing arms and legs and a beating heart. It simply exists in the darkness, suspended, waiting, unaware that every single day something new is being knit together. And that is exactly where you have been, suspended in my hands, being knit back together into someone who could survive what is coming, someone who could carry what I am about to give you, someone who would not crumble the moment the truth finally arrived. You have looked back at your life and wondered about the signs you missed, the moments where something was trying to get your attention, but you were too distracted, too busy, too consumed by your own plans to notice. And I have watched you carry guilt over those missed signs. I have watched you punish yourself for not seeing what was right in front of you. I have watched you replay conversations and decisions and moments and wonder if things would be different now, if only you had been more aware, more spiritual, more attuned to what I was doing. And I need you to release that guilt right now, because it is a weight you were never meant to carry. The signs you missed were not missed because you were failing. They were missed because you were not ready to see them. You cannot blame yourself for not understanding a language you had not yet learned. You cannot punish yourself for not recognizing a voice you had not yet been trained to hear. And so much of what has happened in your life, so much of what has felt like random chaos and meaningless suffering, has actually been a training ground. A place where your spiritual ears were being unstopped, a place where your spiritual eyes were being opened, a place where the confusion you felt was actually the confusion of a student who has not yet been given the answer key. But now the answer key is being placed in your hands. Now the things that made no sense are beginning to align. Now the scattered pieces that have been lying on the floor of your life for years are finally being gathered up and assembled into a picture you can actually recognize. There is a reason you have felt so unsettled lately. There is a reason the restlessness in your spirit has intensified. There is a reason you cannot seem to find peace in the things that used to comfort you. And that reason is not that something is wrong with you. That reason is that the old things are dying. The old comforts are losing their power. The old distractions are becoming hollow, because something inside you knows that the chapter is ending, and you cannot settle into a book that is about to close. You have been feeling the shift in your bones long before your mind understood what was happening. You have been sensing the approach of something even when you could not name it. You have been waking up in the middle of the night with a strange knowing that you could not explain. And you have dismissed these things as anxiety, as overthinking, as your own mind playing tricks on you. But it was not anxiety, it was not overthinking, it was not your mind playing tricks. Was your spirit sensing that the silence was about to break? It was your spirit knowing that the long night was about to end, even when your eyes could still see nothing but darkness. It was your spirit leaning forward toward a dawn that had not yet appeared on the horizon, but was already rising in the unseen world. I have allowed you to feel misunderstood because you are misunderstood. I have allowed you to feel alone because you have been alone. I have allowed you to experience the pain of being unseen by the very people who should have seen you. And I know how deeply that has cut you. I know how many nights you have spent wondering what is wrong with you, that even the people closest to you cannot seem to understand what you are carrying, cannot seem to see the weight you are bearing, cannot seem to recognize that you have been fighting a battle they know nothing about. And the reason they cannot see it is not because you are invisible, and it is not because they are cruel. The reason they cannot see it is because what I have been doing in you was never meant to be witnessed by human eyes. There are dimensions of your journey that were always meant to be just you and me. There are depths of your transformation that were always meant to happen in a place where no one else could watch, because if they had seen what I was doing, they would have tried to interfere. They would have tried to help in ways that would have actually hurt. They would have tried to pull you out of the fire before the fire had finished its work. And so I hid you. I hid you in plain sight. I hid you behind a face that looked normal to everyone else, while underneath the surface, everything was being remade. You have wondered why certain relationships have fallen away, why certain doors have closed so firmly that you cannot even see the crack where they used to be, why certain people who once meant everything to you are now nothing more than a memory. And I know that loss has left scars. I know you have replayed those endings and wondered if you could have done something differently, if you could have been someone different, if you could have held on tighter, or loved better, or tried harder. But those endings were not failures. Those endings were surgery. Those endings were me removing things from your life that could not survive in the atmosphere you are about to enter. There are people who were never meant to come with you into this next season. There are relationships that were never designed to withstand the weight of what I'm about to place upon you. And if I had not removed them, they would have become weights that dragged you down. They would have become voices that confused you. They would have become hands that held you back from the very thing I have been preparing you for. And so I did what a loving father does. I cleared the path. I removed the obstacles. I cut away the things that were poisoning your growth, even when you could not see the poison. Even when you thought those things were the very air you needed to breathe. You are standing at a threshold right now. You are standing with one foot in the life that has been, and one foot in the life that is coming. And that in-between place is the most disorienting place a person can stand. It is the place where nothing feels solid. It is the place where you cannot go back, and you cannot quite see forward. It is the place where doubt screams the loudest, because doubt knows it is about to lose its hold on you. And the doubt has been screaming, has it not? The doubt has been telling you that nothing is changing, that this is just another false dawn, that you have hoped before and been disappointed before, and this will be no different. The doubt has been using your own history against you. It has been parading every past disappointment in front of your eyes, and saying, look at all the times you thought things were about to shift and nothing happened. Look at all the times you believed and were let down. Look at all the times you trusted and were left waiting. Why would this time be any different? Why would you be stupid enough to hope again? But I am telling you now that the doubt is lying. The doubt is using the past to try to steal the future. The doubt does not want you to see that this time is different, because this time you are different. This time you are not the same person who hoped and was disappointed. This time you are someone who has been through the fire and come out the other side. This time you are someone who has been stripped of everything false and left with only what is real. This time you are ready in ways you have never been ready before, and the doubt knows it. The doubt can feel its power slipping. The doubt is thrashing and screaming because it knows its days in your life are numbered. Do not listen to its screams. Do not let its noise drown out what I am speaking to you right now. The threshold is before you. The door is opening, and what waits on the other side is not disappointment. Wait on the other side is not another lesson in patience. What waits on the other side is the very thing the silence was preparing you to receive. There is something you have been carrying that was never yours to carry, and it has bent your back. It has bowed your shoulders. It has made you walk through life hunched over under a weight that was never placed there by me. And I need you to hear this clearly, because you have lived with this weight for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to stand up straight. You have forgotten what it feels like to breathe without something pressing on your chest. You have accepted this burden as simply part of who you are, as simply the cost of being you, as simply the price of existence. But that burden is not your identity. That burden is not your destiny. That burden is not a permanent fixture in your life. That burden is a lie that you absorbed so early and so deeply that it became woven into the fabric of how you see yourself. And I am telling you now that the time has come to put it down. The time has come to unclench your hands from around it. The time has come to let it fall to the ground and walk away without looking back, because you cannot enter what I am bringing you into while you are still carrying what I never gave you. What is this burden? It is the belief that you are somehow behind, that you have missed your moment, that life has moved on without you, and you are standing on the platform watching the train disappear into the distance. It is the belief that everyone else received something you were denied, that everyone else figured something out that you are still grasping for, that everyone else is living the life that was meant for you, while you are stuck in a version of existence that feels like a consolation prize. It is the belief that you have made too many mistakes, that you have wasted too much time, that you have burned too many bridges, that you have used up your chances, and now there is nothing left but to make peace with a life that is smaller than the one you dreamed of. And I know you have tried to hide this belief. I know you have tried to cover it with positivity and affirmations and declarations of faith. But underneath all of that, underneath the brave face you show the world, this belief has been sitting like a stone in your gut. This belief has been poisoning every moment of hope before it can fully take root. This belief has been telling you that it is too late, that you are too old, that you have missed too much, that the best is behind you, and all that remains is to manage your disappointment until the end. But what if I told you that you are not behind? What if I told you that the train you think you missed was never your train? What if I told you that the life you think everyone else is living was never your life? What if I told you that the very thing you have been mourning as lost is actually still ahead of you, not behind you, and that the years you think you wasted were actually the years I was using to build something in you that could not have been built any other way? You have been looking at your life through a lens that distorts everything. You have been comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. You have been measuring your unseen process against someone else's public harvest. And that comparison has been killing you. It has been stealing your joy. It has been robbing you of the ability to see what I have actually been doing, because you have been so fixated on what I have been doing in someone else. I do not work on assembly lines. I do not mass produce human beings. I do not create cookie-cutter lives where everyone arrives at the same destination at the same time using the same route. I am an artist, and you are my unique creation. The path you have walked is unlike any path that has ever been walked before. The things I have taught you in the dark are lessons that no one else could learn, because no one else is you. The strength I have built into your spirit is strength that was designed specifically for the weight you are going to need to carry. And the timing of your life, the seeming delays, the apparent detours, the long stretches of waiting that have felt like punishment, all of it has been meticulously calibrated to bring you to this exact moment with this exact capacity to receive what I am about to release. You have asked me why certain prayers went unanswered, why certain doors remained closed, why certain desires never came to pass, even when you begged me for them with tears streaming down your face. And I have watched you assume that the answer was no. I have watched you conclude that I was withholding good things from you for reasons you could not understand. I have watched you make peace with a no that was never actually spoken. But what if the answer was never no? What if the answer was wait? What if the answer was not yet? What if the answer was I am preparing something better and you are not ready to receive it? And the reason you could not hear that answer is because waiting has felt like death to you. Waiting has felt like the worst possible outcome. Waiting has felt like being left behind while everyone else moves forward. And so you stopped listening for the answer because the answer you thought you heard was too painful to accept. My waiting is not like your waiting. My waiting is not idle. My waiting is not passive. My waiting is not me sitting on my hands while you suffer. My waiting is the most active thing. I do. My waiting is the space where I maneuver circumstances, where I align events, where I position people, where I prepare hearts, where I build the foundation upon which I will place something so heavy that it would sink into the ground if the ground was not first made solid. There have been moments when you thought you saw the door opening. Moments when hope surged in your chest and you thought, finally this is it. Finally the waiting is over. Finally, the thing I have been longing for is about to arrive. And then the door did not open, or it opened slightly, and then closed again, or you stepped toward it, only to find that what was on the other side was not what you thought it would be. And those moments have left scars. Those moments have made you hesitant to hope again. Those moments have taught you to guard your heart, to keep your expectations low, to protect yourself from the disappointment of another almost, another not yet, another maybe that turned into nothing. And I understand why you have built those walls. I understand why you have become cautious with your hope. I understand why you flinch now when someone tells you that things are about to change. But I am asking you to lower those walls, just for a moment, just long enough, to hear what I am actually saying, not what you have heard before, not what has disappointed you before, not what has failed to materialize before, but what I am speaking to you right now in this moment that is unlike any moment that has come before. You have been looking for proof that I am real. You have been looking for evidence that I hear you. You have been searching for some sign that your prayers are not disappearing into nothing. And I have watched you look for this proof in all the wrong places. I have watched you look for it in the behavior of other people, in the approval of those you love, in the success of your endeavors, in the absence of hardship, in the presence of comfort. And when those things did not materialize, when people failed you, when doors remained closed, when hardship continued, you concluded that the proof was not there. You concluded that I must not be listening. You concluded that perhaps you were believing in something that was not even real. But the proof you have been looking for has never been in those things. The proof has been in your own survival. The proof has been in the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still putting one foot in front of the other, despite everything. That has tried to take you out. The proof has been in the moments when you should have broken, but you did not. When you should have given up, but you kept going. When you should have been destroyed, but here you stand. And that survival, that stubborn persistence, that refusal to finally lay down and die, that has not been you. That has been me. That has been my hand holding you up when you could not feel it. That has been my breath filling your lungs when you forgot to breathe. That has been my strength moving through limbs that had no strength left of their own. You are closer than you think. That is the truth that the enemy has been working overtime to hide from you. You are closer than you think to the very thing you have been waiting for. The distance between where you are and where you are going is not measured in miles or months or years. It is measured in heartbeats. It is measured in breaths. It is measured in moments of surrender. And you have been fighting the surrender because surrender has felt like defeat. Surrender has felt like giving up. Surrender has felt like admitting that you cannot control your own life. And you have spent so long trying to control, so long trying to manipulate circumstances, so long trying to force doors open, so long trying to make things happen through sheer will and determination, that the thought of letting go has felt like falling into an abyss. But surrender is not falling. Surrender is flying. Surrender is releasing the weight that has kept you grounded. Surrender is opening your hands so that you can finally receive what you have been trying so desperately to grasp. And the moment you truly surrender, the moment you stop fighting and let go, that is the moment you will find yourself already there, already home, already holding the very thing you have been chasing all along. There is a voice inside you that has been speaking for a very long time. A voice that does not belong to you and does not belong to me. And this voice has become so familiar, so constant, so woven into the fabric of your daily thoughts that you have stopped recognizing it as an intruder. You have started to believe that this voice is simply your own reasoning, your own assessment of reality, your own honest evaluation of who you are and what you deserve. But I need you to understand that this voice is a liar and has always been a liar. This voice is the same voice that spoke to humanity in the beginning, the same voice that questioned whether I had really said what I said, the same voice that suggested I was holding out on you, that I was keeping good things from you, that I could not be trusted to have your best interests at heart. And that voice has been whispering to you in moments of weakness, shouting at you in moments of crisis, murmuring to you in moments of quiet. You have been listening. You have been absorbing its poison. You have been allowing it to shape your perception of yourself and of me. And the time has come for you to finally recognize this voice for what it is, and to starve it of the attention it has been feeding on. This voice has told you that you are too much, that you feel too deeply, that you want too intensely, that your emotions are a problem to be managed rather than a gift to be received. And you have believed this voice. You have tried to shrink yourself. You have tried to become smaller. You have tried to dull the very parts of you that I placed within you as strengths. You have apologized for your passion. You have hidden your depth. You have pretended to be shallower than you are, because the world has rewarded shallowness and punished depth. And in doing so, you have betrayed the very design I wove into your being. You have buried talents that were meant to shine. You have silenced gifts that were meant to speak. And the reason you have felt so exhausted, so drained, so perpetually tired is not because you are doing too much, but because you are doing too little of what you were actually made for. You are spending your energy trying to be someone you were never meant to be, while the real you, the you I created, the you I have been protecting and preserving and preparing, has been starving in the basement of your own life. Do you remember the dreams you had before the world taught you to be practical? Do you remember the things that made your heart beat faster before you were told that such things were unrealistic? Do you remember the visions that visited you in the night before you learned to dismiss them as fantasy? I remember. I remember every dream, every vision, every moment of holy ambition that stirred within you. And I have not forgotten them, even though you have. I have not abandoned them, even though you have buried them under layers of disappointment and resignation. I have been keeping them alive in the hidden places. I have been nurturing them in the darkness where no one could see. I have been protecting them from the voices that told you they were impossible. And now that you have been stripped of everything false, now that you have been emptied of the world's definitions of success, now that you are standing in a place where you have nothing left to lose, those dreams are about to rise from the grave where you buried them. They are about to breathe again. They are about to walk out of the tomb and into the light of a new day. You have spent so long trying to figure out the how. You have been obsessed with the mechanics, with the logistics, with the path from here to there. And because you could not see the path, because the how remained hidden, you concluded that the dream must be dead. You concluded that if you cannot see the way forward, then there must be no way forward. But I have never asked you to figure out the how. I have only asked you to trust the who. I have only asked you to trust me. And the how has always been my responsibility. The how has always been the part of the equation that I keep hidden until the moment when hidden things must be revealed. And you are standing at the threshold of such a moment. You are standing at the edge of a revelation where the how is about to become as clear as the why, where the path is about to appear under your feet, even though moments ago there was nothing but darkness and void. There are people in your life who have been placed there as mirrors, and you have not understood why your interactions with them have been so intense, why your relationships have been so complicated, why certain people have provoked such strong reactions in you. And the reason is that these people have been reflecting back to you the parts of yourself that you have refused to see. They have been showing you your own shadow, your own unhealed wounds, your own rejected qualities. And you have been blaming them for the reflection. You have been angry at the mirror for showing you what you did not want to see. But the mirror is not the problem. The reflection is not the problem. The problem is that you have been unwilling to look honestly at what is being shown to you. And until you are willing to see yourself clearly, until you are willing to accept every part of who you are, the light and the shadow, the strength and the weakness, the beauty and the brokenness, continue to attract mirrors that show you what you are refusing to acknowledge. And the intensity of those relationships will continue until you finally stop blaming the mirror and start thanking it for the gift of self-awareness that it has been offering you all along. I have allowed you to experience rejection because rejection has been your teacher. Rejection has been the fire that burned away your need for human approval. Rejection has been the chisel that carved away your dependency on the opinions of others. Rejection has been the wilderness where you learned that my acceptance is enough, that my love is sufficient, that my opinion of you matters more than the collective opinion of every person who has ever walked away. And I know that rejection has left wounds. I know that every dismissal, every abandonment, every turning of backs has cut you deeply. But those cuts have also been openings through which my light could finally enter, openings through which my love could finally reach the parts of you that had been sealed off and defended, openings through which you could finally receive the healing that you have been needing since before you could remember. The time has come for you to stop performing, stop pretending, stop presenting a version of yourself that you think will be acceptable to the world. The time has come for you to be fully, unapologetically, unashamedly you. The you I created, the you I have been calling forth from the beginning, the you that has been hiding in the shadows, waiting for permission to emerge. And I am giving you that permission now. I am releasing you from the prison of other people's expectations. I am breaking the chains of approval seeking that have bound you for so long. I am setting you free to be exactly who you are, not who you think you should be, not who others have told you to be, not who you have tried to become in order to be loved, but who you actually are, who you have always been, underneath all the layers of performance and pretense. And in that freedom, you will finally find the rest you have been searching for. Because the exhaustion you have felt has not been the exhaustion of too much work. It has been the exhaustion of too much pretending, the exhaustion of maintaining a facade, the exhaustion of being someone other than yourself, day after day after year. Look at your hands. Look at them right now. See the lines. See the scars. See the evidence of everything you have held and everything you have released. And understand that those hands have been my hands in the world. Those hands have touched people I needed touched. Those hands have done work I needed done. Those hands have reached out in darkness when there was no light to guide them. And I have been proud of those hands. I have been proud of every time they kept reaching when letting go would have been easier. Every time they kept working when giving up would have been understandable. Every time they kept holding on when everything in you screamed to let go. And I need you to see those hands the way I see them, not as instruments of failure, not as evidence of inadequacy, but as proof of a faithfulness you have never acknowledged in yourself. Proof that you are stronger than you know. Proof that you have been walking with me even when you thought you were walking alone. And those hands are about to hold things you have never held before. They are about to receive what they have been reaching for across all these years of reaching. And when that moment comes, when your hands finally close around what your heart has been longing for, you will know that not a single moment of reaching was wasted. Not a single stretch toward the light was in vain. Not a single grasp in the darkness went unseen by the only eyes that have always been watching you with love. There is a war that has been raging around you that you have not seen. A war that has been fought in the spaces between your thoughts, in the moments between your decisions, in the silence between your prayers. And this war has not been against flesh and blood. It has not been against the people who have hurt you, or the circumstances that have opposed you, or the obstacles that have blocked your path. This war has been against the very purpose for which you were born, against the reason you draw breath, against the assignment that has your name written on it in letters of fire. And the enemy of that purpose has used every weapon in his arsenal to keep you from arriving at this moment. He has used distraction to pull your attention away from what matters. He has used disappointment to make you too afraid to hope. He has used people to wound you in ways that made you want to retreat from the very connections you would need to fulfill what you were sent here to do. Your own mind against you, filling it with thoughts that were never your own. Thoughts of worthlessness, thoughts of failure, thoughts of impossibility, thoughts that you have accepted as truth simply because they have been repeated so often in the theater of your consciousness. But I need you to understand that this war is not lost. This war is not even close to being lost. This war is entering its final chapter, and you are not the victim of this war. You are not the casualty of this war. You are not the collateral damage of this war. You are the prize. You are the territory. You are the reason the war has been fought at all, and the one who fights for you has never lost a battle and will not start losing now. You have felt the attacks intensify. You have noticed that the moments before breakthrough have been met with the strongest opposition. You have observed that just when things seem to be turning, just when hope begins to flicker, just when the light at the end of the tunnel becomes visible, something rises up to try to snuff it out. And you have interpreted this as evidence that the breakthrough is not coming, that the light is not real, that the hope is just another setup for disappointment. But I am telling you that the opposite is true. The intensity of the attack is proof of the value of what is being protected. The enemy does not waste his ammunition on targets that do not matter. He does not deploy his forces against threats that are not real. He does not fight so hard against things that are not coming. And the very fact that you have faced such opposition, such resistance, such relentless assault, is the clearest evidence you could receive that something of enormous value is at stake. Value is about to be released into your life, something that the enemy has been trying to prevent since before you were born, something that your very existence was designed to carry and deliver. There have been moments when you have wanted to give up, moments when the weight has felt too heavy, moments when you have looked at the path ahead and concluded that you simply cannot take another step. And in those moments, you have not seen what I have seen. You have not seen the army that has been surrounding you. You have not seen the angels that have been stationed at your four corners. You have not seen the cloud of witnesses that has been watching your journey with bated breath, cheering you on, willing you forward. Knowing what I know about what waits at the end of this road. And if you could see what I see, if your eyes were opened for just one moment to the spiritual reality that surrounds you right now, you would not be afraid. You would not be discouraged. You would not be considering surrender. You would be amazed that you have made it this far. You would be awed by the protection that has carried you through every valley, has never let you go, even when you could not feel the hands that held you. And you would rise from whatever position you are in right now with a strength that is not your own, a courage that is not natural, a determination that can only come from the knowledge that you are not alone and have never been alone and will never be alone. The things you have been through, the specific sufferings, the particular losses, the unique wounds that you carry, these have not been random. These have not been meaningless. These have not been the universe's cruel indifference to your existence. These have been the very materials I have been using to build something in you that could not be built any other way. A surgeon does not cut into a body for no reason. A surgeon cuts to remove what is killing and to heal what is broken. And the cuts you have felt, the places where life has opened you up and exposed what was hidden, these cuts have been surgical. These cuts have been precise. These cuts have been administered by hands that know exactly what they are doing. Hands that are not causing pain for the sake of pain, but are causing pain for the sake of healing. And the healing is here. The healing is now. The healing is rising in you like the sun rising after the longest night. And you are about to feel strength return too. Places that have been weak for so long, you forgot they could ever be strong. You are about to feel life flow into places that have been dead for so long, you forgot they could ever live. You are about to feel wholeness spread through places that have been broken for so long, you forgot they could ever be whole. There is a generation that is watching you. There are eyes upon your life that you do not know about. There are people who have been observing how you handle what you have been handed, how you carry what you have been given to carry, how you walk through what you have been asked to walk through. And they have been taking notes. They have been drawing strength from your example. They have been thinking to themselves that if you can make it through what you are going through, then perhaps they can make it through what they are going through. And you have had no idea that you were being watched. You have had no idea that your private struggle was a public sermon. You have had no idea that your hidden pain was producing a visible fruit that others were hungry to taste. But I have known that your faithfulness in the dark would become a light for those who are still in their own darkness. I have known that your perseverance through the storm would become an anchor for those who are still in their own storms. I have known that your refusal to give up would become a reason for someone else to keep going. And that someone else is closer to you than you think. That someone else is about to cross your path. That someone else is about to look into your eyes and see something that they have been searching for. And in that moment, you will understand why you could not give up. You will understand why I kept you standing. You will understand why every time you wanted to quit, something inside you would not let you. And that something was me, working in you, through you, for the sake of someone you have not even met yet. The loneliness you have felt has been a womb. The isolation has been a cocoon. The solitude has been a sanctuary where I could speak to you without the interference of other voices. And I know the loneliness has been painful. I know the isolation has been crushing at times. I know the solitude has felt like a prison rather than a sanctuary. But in that prison, I have been visiting you. In that isolation, I have been speaking to you. In that loneliness, I have been drawing close to you in ways that would not have been possible if you had been surrounded by the noise of other people and the demands of other relationships and the distractions of other voices and the words I have spoken to you in that secret place, the truths I have deposited in you in that hidden chamber, the revelations I have given you in that solitary confinement. Those words, those truths, those revelations are about to become public. They are about to become the very thing that sets others free, about to become the bread that feeds the hungry, who have been searching for something real in a world full of counterfeits. And you will stand amazed as you watch the things I taught you in secret become the very things that give you influence and authority and impact in a world that has been starving for exactly what you carry. The door that is opening before you now is not like the doors that have opened before. This door does not lead to another waiting room. This door does not lead to another hallway. This door does not lead to another season of preparation disguised as delay. This door leads to the very thing the preparation was for, the very thing the waiting was about, the very thing the silence was protecting. And as you walk through this door, you will leave behind forever the person who has been waiting, the person who has been wondering, the person who has been hoping against hope. And you will become the person who has arrived, the person who has received, the person who is living the answer instead of just asking the question. And the transition will feel strange at first. It will feel unfamiliar. It will feel almost wrong because you have become so accustomed to waiting that receiving will feel like a foreign language. But you will learn this language quickly. You will adapt to this new reality faster than you think, because this is what you were made for. This is where you have been heading all along. This is the destination that has been hidden in every detour, in every delay, in every disappointment. And now, the hidden is becoming visible. Now the promise is becoming reality. Now the waiting is becoming worth it, and you are about to live the life you have been praying for. Not because you finally figured out how to make it happen, but because I finally brought you to the place where it could be given. And now we arrive at the place where words become insufficient, where language bends under the weight of what wants to be spoken, where even the most carefully chosen phrases can only point toward a reality that must be felt rather than explained. Because what is happening in you right now, in this very moment, is not something that can be captured in sentences or contained in paragraphs. It is something that is happening in the deepest part of you, in the place where spirit meets spirit, in the chamber of your being that has been sealed until now, waiting for this exact moment when the seal would finally be broken and the living water would finally be released. And that water is rising in you now. It is rising from depths you did not know you had. It is rising through cracks you did not know were there. It is rising to fill spaces that have been empty for so long you forgot they were ever meant to be filled. And this rising is not something you are doing. This rising is something you are receiving. This rising is the fulfillment of every promise I ever made to you. Every whisper in the night, every strange coincidence that you dismissed as chance, every unexpected provision that arrived just when you needed it most, every moment of peace that came without explanation in the middle of your chaos, all of it has been leading to this. All of it has been preparing you for this. All of it has been pouring into this moment so that when you finally arrived here, you would be full to overflowing with the very thing the world has been waiting to receive through you. You have spent so long looking for purpose, searching for meaning, trying to figure out why you are here and what you are supposed to do and how you are supposed to do it. And the search itself has been exhausting. The search itself has been discouraging. The search itself has made you feel like everyone else received a manual for their lives, while you were left to guess. But I am telling you now that the purpose you have been searching for has never been a destination to reach, or a task to complete, or a role to fulfill. The purpose you have been searching for has been a person, and that person is you, the you I created before the foundations of the world, the you I have been shaping through every triumph and every failure, every joy and every sorrow, every gain and every loss. The you that is standing here right now, in this moment, reading these words, breathing this air, existing in this time and place for reasons that are only now beginning to dawn on your consciousness. And that you, the real you, the authentic you, the you that exists underneath all the layers of performance and pretense and people-pleasing, that you is about to emerge in a way that has never happened before. That you is about to step into the light and be seen. That you is about to take your place in a story that is much larger than your own life, but which cannot be complete without your unique contribution. There have been moments when you wondered if your life mattered, moments when you questioned whether anyone would notice if you simply disappeared, moments when you felt invisible in a world that only seems to see the loud and the bright and the successful. And in those moments, you could not see what I could see. You could not see the ripples that your life has been sending out into the waters of eternity. You could not see the lives that have been touched by your kindness, even when you thought no one was watching. You could not see the hope that has been planted in hearts by your presence, even when you felt completely useless. You could not see the difference you have made simply by showing up, simply by staying, simply by refusing to abandon your post even when the post seemed meaningless. But I have seen every ripple, every touch, every seed of hope, every moment of faithfulness that no human eye witnessed, and I have been gathering them. I have been weaving them into a tapestry that is about to be revealed. A tapestry that will show you the full picture of a life that mattered far more than you ever knew. A life that was significant in ways you never imagined. A life that was exactly what it needed to be, even when it felt like nothing at all. The congratulations that is being extended to you now is not for arriving at the end, because this is not the end. This is a beginning. This is the starting line of a race you have been training for your entire life. This is the first page of a chapter you have been writing in the dark without being able to read the words. This is the moment when the orchestra tunes and the conductor raises his baton, and the music that has been waiting in the silence finally begins to play. And you are not just a listener at this concert. You are an instrument. You are a note. You are a central part of a symphony that has been composed from before time began. And the reason you have felt so incomplete, so unfinished, so much like a melody waiting for its harmony, is because you have been waiting for this moment. You have been waiting to take your place in the music. You have been waiting to sound the note that only you can sound. And now the waiting is over. Now the music is beginning. You are about to discover what it feels like to be exactly where you belong, doing exactly what you were made to do, being exactly who you were always meant to be. Do not be afraid of what comes next. Do not let the unknown intimidate you. Do not let the unfamiliarity of this new season make you want to retreat back into the comfortable misery of the old one. Because what comes next has been prepared for you with the same care that went into preparing you for it. Every step of the path ahead has been scouted. Every obstacle has been noted. Every provision has been arranged. And you will not walk into this new season alone. You will not face its challenges without resources. You will not navigate its complexities without guidance. I will be with you in ways that are about to become more tangible, more recognizable, more undeniably present than anything you have experienced in the seasons behind you. Because the hiddenness is ending, the silence is breaking, the distance you have felt is collapsing, and you are about to know, really know, deep in your bones know, that I am with you, that I am for you, that I will never leave you, will never forsake you, that I have been with you in every moment you thought I was absent, and have been for you in every situation that seemed stacked against you, and will be with you and for you until the end of time and beyond. The tears you are feeling right now, the emotion rising in your chest, the lump forming in your throat, these are not weakness. These are not embarrassment. These are not something to be suppressed or hidden or ashamed of. These are the release valves of a heart that has been under pressure for too long. These are the first drops of rain falling on ground that has been parched for years. These are the signs that something is thawing, something is softening, something is coming back to life in a place that had grown cold and hard and dead. And you must let these tears come. You must let them fall. You must let them water the seeds that have been planted in you through all the years of waiting and wondering and wandering. Because those seeds are about to sprout. Those seeds are about to break through the surface. Those seeds are about to become the harvest that feeds not only you, but everyone who crosses your path. And the tears are the water that makes this possible, are the release that makes this real. The tears are the proof that you are still alive, still feeling, still capable of being moved by the things that move my heart. Look back for just a moment. Look back at the road you have traveled. Look back at the valleys you have walked through. Look back at the mountains you have climbed. Look back at the rivers you have crossed, and see them not as obstacles that delayed you, but as preparation that strengthened you. See them not as punishments you endured, but as training you received. See them not as wastes of time, but as investments in eternity. And as you look back, notice that you are not the same person who started that journey. Notice that every step changed you. Every trial shaped you. Every tear transformed you. And the person you have become, the person standing here at this threshold, is exactly the person who is ready for what is on the other side. Exactly the person who can carry what needs to be carried. Exactly the person who can give what needs to be given. Exactly the person who can be what needs to be. And now, take a breath. The deepest breath you have taken in a long time. And feel the air filling your lungs. Feel the life moving through your body. Feel the presence that has been with you through every word of this message and through every moment of your life. And know that this presence is not leaving. This presence is not withdrawing. This presence is not going back into the silence from which it came. This presence is moving with you into everything that is ahead. This presence is going before you to prepare the way. This presence is behind you to guard your back. This presence is beside you as your companion and friend and guide and protector and provider and peace. And nothing in all creation, nothing in the past or present or future, nothing in the heights or the depths or the widths or the lengths, nothing in the seen world or the unseen world, nothing that has happened or is happening or will ever happen, nothing can separate you from this presence. Nothing can remove you from this love. Nothing can undo what has been done in you through this moment and through every moment that has led to it. So go now. Go from this place of encounter into the life that awaits you. Go with the confidence of one who has been found, the courage of one who has been strengthened, the peace of one who has been held, and the joy of one who has been loved beyond all reason and all measure and all understanding. Go and be who you were always meant to be. Do what you were always meant to do. Live the life you were always meant to live. And know that in every step, in every breath, in every moment, you are seen, you are known, you are loved, and you are never, ever alone. It is finished, and it is just beginning, and you are ready. You have always been ready. I have been making you ready. And now finally, you get to live.